to another edition of All Ball Chicago. I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed, and I got the legend, the NBA veteran, the McDonough All-American in the building with me, Marcus. What's up, Marcus, your host?
What's going on, man?
And I got a special guest up in here, a Chicago basketball savant, a legend, first-round NBA draft pick, West Side of Chicago legend, basketball enthusiast. Give it up for Sonny Parker in the building. What's up there, Mr. Parker?
Boy, that's a great introduction there. I thought I was at the Apollo or somewhere. Okay.
Hey, man, you basketball royalty, man. You laid the foundation, man.
We just trying, man. Just making a difference.
Yeah, that's what's up, Sonny. And man, we are glad you can join us. We know Jabari's gonna, chime in a little later. Because he's working out, man, and that's good. That's a good thing, That's why we pushed it back, because we know he was working out.
We know where he at too. So
that's right. That's right. So we just gonna start talking a little bit until he, get on with us. But Sonny, just tell us a little bit about, your upbringing on that west side of Chicago, man, and getting, that basketball, that 29.5 in your hand. I even saw some old footage of you, man, in that, I want to say it was a Lincoln Continental back in the day.
Yeah, that was Lincoln. Yeah.
Lincoln Town car.
We wanted big cars back in the days. We wasn't into those small cars.
Right. And I think it was white too, man. I was like, woo, that baby clean.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the things that you were doing on that west side, man, because you went to Farragut, right? Farragut High School.
Yes, sir.
And I'm assuming you played against some great basketball players back then. And if you could name some of those players that you played against, man, and how they made you elevate your game.
Yeah, it was very competitive, man. Lamont Mondane, Danny Crawford, Nate Williams and James Jackson, Michael Johnson, Eddie's brother. I mean, it was intense. All the schools is in walking distance. So, it's my mom went to Marshall, my dad went to Farragut. So it was right away at home.
Wow. See, and that's what I think. That's one reason why we wanted to do this All Ball Chicago, man, and talk about. Because a lot of times you drop names and people don't know, those names. They see you, Sonny, and they know what you're all about. But some of them names you just dropped, a lot of people probably don't even know. So that's why I always say it was basketball before Marcus Liberty. It was basketball before Sonny Parker. It was basketball being played in Chicago for a very long time. So that's why we wanted to have you come on and talk and drop some knowledge on us and let our listeners know that it was a lot of people that was playing basketball and really getting down, Like, Sonny, you probably can tell us a little bit about Billy the Kid Harris, because I never seen him play, but I heard a lot about him.
Hey, all I can tell you, he's on that Mount Rushmore team. That's where he at. It ain't even no argument.
Wow.
Mount Rushmore?
That's where he at. On the Mount Rushmore. That's him. Billy the Kid Harris.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. All the things that, I talked to his son a few years ago, and I was talking to him about his dad. So all the things that you heard about your dad, that's true.
Wow.
That's real.
He was like the Muhammad Ali of basketball.
Wow.
Talk, man, but he could back it up.
Wow. So,
okay.
Jabari, can you hear us, Jabari?
Yeah, I'm in. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Pop said, he said, man, I ain't used to all this technology and all that. Jabari ain't here to help him out.
Welcome to the show, Jabari. Welcome, big fella.
Thank you for having me and my dad.
Absolutely, man. Y'all the only two father and sons that's NBA guys out of Chicago, right?
Tim Hardaway.
Tim Hardaway Jr. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
love right there.
So how did your workout go, Jabari?
It went really well.
Good,
Got
good.
in, got out.
Good. No, but we was talking with your dad, man, and just, reminiscing about some of the old days. But the reason why we wanted to get both of you guys on, because both of you guys are a tandem. You guys been, involved with a lot of things in the community, especially in Chicago. And you have put your, you laid your foundation, man, in Chicago. A lot of people respect you. They love your game, man. I was one of those. I'm a fan of yours, man. I know you're going to do a lot of great things in Chicago and as well as in the NBA. So I just wanted to say that before we even get started with, our conversations. But
I appreciate that.
So what you've been doing, man, is working, getting your butt back in, tip top shape. And I know what you can do, man, because I watch you play. You got game, man. You got game. So just take that and go to it and to a whole nother level, man, because I know you can do it. All right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I will.
All right.
I know you glad the league coming back too, though, ain't you, man?
Yeah. Games don't hurt nobody, so that's real good.
We can't wait either, man. We've been sick.
That's right.
It's beautiful though.
So Jabari, since we got you on here with your dad, I want you to talk a little bit about your father, and then I'm gonna have your father talk a little bit about you. So that way, people can understand. I don't know if you saw the episode we had with Kendrick and his dad. They were on the other, like 2 weeks ago on our show, and they was chopping it up real good, man. So we want you to do the same thing, man, about your dad. Tell us a little bit about your dad and what you remember, some of the clippings or whatever, your videos or old footage, what you had seen of him.
Yeah, so I'm just fortunate and I'm grateful for his presence. Even though I had shared a lot of his time with, just with other people around me, I didn't think of it as jealousy. I knew my dad's influence. I knew his presence and his importance in the community. So I had to really mature at a young age and had to understand that. But without my father, I wouldn't be here, and a lot of other people wouldn't be here because of his charity and of his good heart by just giving back to the community and just showing people the game. So I'm really appreciative of my father for that.
And it's amazing that you say that, because I heard the same thing. I heard the same thing, that what Sonny was doing back in the day, and giving back, helping many kids that came through that program that, that don't get the recognition, because, whatever they, went off and did their thing. But I know Sonny planted the seeds in a lot of Chicago kids that played basketball, man. So big ups to you, Sonny, for doing that and raising your son. I mean, you have raised Jabari and the rest of your children really well, man. And I know it because I see it, So now tell us a little bit about Jabari, on how you tried to, maneuver that, to make him be the person he is today.
Yeah, I just basically, didn't put a lot of pressure on him. But I told him, man, if you really want to play this game, man, you got to be serious about it. But he had a passion for the game. He said, Dad, basketball is what I do. It's not who I am. And, Jabari's middle name is Ali. So he named that Muhammad Ali. So it's Jabari. I know. But the one thing, he's old school. All those highlights of Marcus living in King High School, he watches them every day. Man, he makes them every day. Yes, that's true. He see more highlights of you than me. So, you're part of his DNA in the journey. And before each game at Simeon, your coach Cox sits next to him, before the games, and he gets a lot of that knowledge. So we had him around the right people. But the main thing that I'm impressed with Jabari, who he is as a person. And he's giving back, because you and Tim Hardaway and Nick Anderson and, all the rest of the guys, of course, Derrick Rose, they've given back. And he's just a throwback, He just want to give back to his community. He don't have no security. He don't have no entourage. So he's done a lot in the community. But I'm just proud of my relationship with him. And that's the most important thing, that father and son thing. Yeah, we had our differences here and there. I got better as a parent. And I had to get better as a parent because I got caught up being a fan. So, I grew up, understanding how to be his father and be the person that he wants me to be there for him.
But you know what, Sonny, though, if I was my child, I probably would be the same way, watching him play the way he was playing the game. You couldn't help but be a fan. He played the game the right way, man. And when I was watching him, I came to a couple of the games when he was at Simeon, and I watched him play the way he carried himself on the court. He never got too high. He never got too low. He just stayed focused and stayed to the court.
He don't celebrate. He's been there before. He don't celebrate. I used to do things on purpose just to get him to do something, but it's hard to break him because he's so disciplined and so mentally tough as well as physical.
So Jabari, you got a lot of that probably from your dad, that DNA. And I see your mom. I used to see your mom come to the game too, supporting you. So you had that support system, man. How important it is to have that support system.
It's very important to have parents that support you, and it has to come from a good place. It has to be very pure, and they have to make sure that they play the father and the mother role first before anything. And from there, the rest of the world is yours. It's yours for the inheritance because there's no pressure. And I was just so glad to have good parents and be able to nurture me. And basketball was just, from there, a hobby. It didn't feel like it was a job.
Wow. And now I did hear some rumors, man. I don't know if it's true or not, but they told me some of your teammates, they used to say, Jabari just stayed to himself. He likes to watch cartoons. Is that true? When you were in high school, they say you used to watch a lot of cartoons and stuff like that, or no?
Yeah, I didn't have much of a social life. And a lot of times I just had to stick to what was my comfort zone. Like, I didn't know much of the social scene. I didn't know where the parties were, but I just made sure basketball, church, and my school studies was the things that I was glued to.
Man,
That's classic,
awesome.
man. You don't find that in Chicago, Dad Jabari.
Man.
Just don't find that in young men in Chicago that don't party and get good grades and all that. Shout out to you, big fella. And I'm a Simeon alumni. That's jersey not just hanging back there for no reason. Class 86, young fella. You know what I'm saying? You got 4 state titles, right?
We got 4 state titles.
We got 4 state titles, right?
Yeah, we do.
Shout out to you, big fella. The winningest player in Simeon history. That's what's up. I just had to throw that in there right quick, Liam.
No,
anytime Simeon come in here, the jersey, it's just not hanging there because I love being. I went there. I was there. So, shout out to y'all.
No, we got love for Chicago in general, not just Simeon, but in general. And that's one thing that I want people to understand, that we're not just doing this just to do it. We want to highlight some of the people that came before us, and then the father-son duels that we have come on to talk about, some of their experiences, because we really want to try to help somebody. So Jabari, when you were just talking about your upbringing and, trying to find what really was your role and all that, it kind of brought some chills through my body, man, that when I hear you talk like that, man, so I know you're going to help some of these kids, man, that next generation that's coming behind you, because Chicago has a lot of talented kids, and sometimes they just need a little bit guidance to get to where they need to go, man. So that's big ups to you on that, man. And I'm proud of you for doing that and understanding, be patient, and I'm going to find out where I need to be at, so that's what's up.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So, Bob, you got anything?
Yeah, you know what? I just wanted to ask, having a son, you got drafted in the first round with Golden State, Sonny, and then you got drafted. You got drafted in the first round. So, like, what them conversations like behind closed doors? Like, yeah, pops, I got drafted too. Do y'all have those trash talk type of scenarios?
It surfaces sometimes. It surfaces sometimes, you know. So, but it's all good.
Sonny, you ever tell him what you would do to him in your day, though?
He know.
I just want to know, yeah. I know if I was a pro with my son.
We scratch the surface a little bit, you know, but we don't go into details because then it starts getting a little too personal.
That's what I'm talking about, boy.
He's a great player, you know. I just grew up into basketball development, but he got what's it. You know, it took me a while to figure things out at a young age. But, you know, he at 4 and 5 years old playing with the sixth graders, then the high school guys. You know, sixth grade, he's playing with Derek and Tim and them on varsity at Simeon. It's like, wow. Then by Tim Grover, he's down there with Bobby Simmons and Antoine Walker. I mean, he's always played.
With the older guys?
Yeah, I said the game the same. Players just changed. It's the same game.
Right.
Players just changed.
And let me ask Jabari this, Lynn, right quick before we go. Before I forget though, Jabari, why Duke, man? I just always wanted to ask you why Duke. You know, I love Duke. You know, I love Coach K. But what made you pick Duke? You know, coming out of Simeon, because I know you had a plethora of offers, man.
Yeah, I did. It came down to really two schools. That was between Michigan State and Duke, and really, I went to Duke because of three things. First, my dad wouldn't let me stay in the house if I didn't go to that school. Number two,
oh man,
yeah. Number two, it was kind of hard to pass up the opportunity to learn that knowledge from Coach K. Right. And so many people only get that opportunity by two ways: by playing with the USA team or by playing at his school. So I really wanted to take advantage of that, and because I know that his time was very short. And he asked me one day, like, are you really ready to come to school? He didn't sell me. He was like, don't come if you can't be the player that you are capable of being. And when he told me that, I knew I needed to be there because he was going to push me.
Oh,
and
nice.
And then the third thing, you know, I decided that, you know, being away from home and just to mature was the best for me. And I didn't want to have Chicago as an outlet if things got hard.
Nice, Jabari.
Man, I tell you, the kid is awesome. Awesome, man.
That's
awesome.
deep, bro.
For real. So, Jabari, I want to ask you something, man, because you kind of got that old soul. Let's talk a little bit about the old school and new school, you know, the game. And I want you to just chime in and talk a little bit of what you remember about, you know, watching old videos, whether that's high school, college, or NBA, and then go into this generation of hooping and whatnot.
Yeah. You know, it really has to be relevant, right? Like, so say for instance, I broke it down into segments. I had to notice who the long-lasting basketball players were in the NBA. So, for example, you had Kareem, who played in the 70s and also dominated in the 80s. And then during the 80s, you had guys who dominated in the 90s. So it really doesn't for me, have a large margin because players always transition into the next decade so smoothly and so good, which means to me that basketball really doesn't change as much. Basketball doesn't change because, you know, you have guys who play in 3 decades like Vince Carter, who stay on a basketball team for a long time and who stay dominant. You know, those guys been playing long time. So, like, the basketball really hasn't changed a lot. And I just break it down from there. And people want to be all, like, scientific with the game, but the game stays the same. And the best players really just, you know, they just transition so well, and that's just like for anybody else.
I agree with you on that too, man. And I'll tell you something, Jabari, about, you know, some of the things that I've been through, you know, when I was playing, and it was hard for me because I didn't have that father that you have that actually been there, done that. So it was kind of hard. I was trying to figure out things on the go, and then I got upset and I said I don't want to work out no more, and I just, you know, somehow the love just got taken away from me, So I was like, you know what? I don't even want to deal with this no more, So do you ever go through some of those, things, just, second guessing and or you just go with the flow?
Yeah, it's normal to have feelings and emotions, and you should never, have, like Marcus, you should never have like any regret, because everybody goes through that. Like, we know who you are and what you mean to the city. So like, even I deal with the same things, no struggles, like just questioning my love and the passion for the game, because it becomes a business. And people don't treat it like it's your passion. They treat it like a business and, tamper with you. So I would just, for myself, like try to find the simple things. And the simple things is just showing gratitude to God and making sure that you just don't take your talent for granted, and just to optimize and to maximize the gifts that he's giving you. But yeah, that was just a thing that I recently, been going through, with my career, but just making life just simple. And whenever I wake up, I try to give thanks to God.
That's real, man.
That is real.
That's
You
real.
can't.
Can I
Go ahead.
ask Sonny something? Go ahead, Lil.
Yeah,
Go
that kind of made
ahead.
me cry a little bit. But yeah, that's just how he is, Marcus and Bobby. You just
I
that
love
way,
it.
man.
Hey, I'm telling you, my sons, they're gonna watch this because they need to hear it. Because my son got a picture with you when we was playing at that Jackson Park Pro-Am, probably about 4 years ago. Jabari came. You was there, Sonny, me and you was talking. But Jabari came in. My son was like, man, that's Jabari, Dad. I was like, go holler at him, man. Just tell him you know me from Simeon. He don't know me. Just say Simeon. He's like, oh, okay, come on. No, I'm just kidding, Jabari. But Sonny, I want to ask you a question, man. Today's game compared to the old time game, how do you like this game now, man? The pace and stuff.
It's just too finesse for me. It's just I just can't. I watch it cause my son playing. That's the only time I watch it. But it's just different. They skilled, they athletic, they, the bigs, they shoot threes, and all the highlights, the YouTube, the videos, and it's just different now. And everybody got their own shoes and stuff, and it's just a different game. Back then, I mean, it was rough. It was rough in practice. And then the game, okay. And then, they got their own planes, they got their own. We had two coaches, one coach and the assistant coach. They got 4 or 5 coaches on the bench. Then they got 5 coaches behind the bench.
Wow.
It's just, it's different. But, but the older guys paved the way for them. So that's all it is.
And that's beautiful.
I watched Pearl Monroe and Walt Frazier and Wilt and all them guys. And of course Kareem, but everybody, each one teach one. So, that's just the way it is. And then the foreign players, a lot of them, a lot of foreign players on the team now.
Yeah, and look at Mahmoud too. Like, he transitioned at the 40s, and he can still play in today's game.
You can.
Yes, yeah.
Right. You think Mahmoud Raoul?
Yeah, that's your teammate, Marcus.
Yeah, man. He was on
Jabari, you think he can play right now?
Yeah.
He can play right now. He showed it.
I agree with him.
The big three?
The big three.
Yeah.
Oh.
I agree with him, man. And I think that kid, he got, I shouldn't call him a kid because he's my age.
Right.
I think Mahmoud got shortchanged. I mean, from whatever the circumstances was, he got shortchanged, man. And he should have been, to see it all the way through, and let's go into that next segment, man. I don't know if you guys ever got involved or been pulled over, racially profiled. We see it in the media right now. I know I have. I got pulled over one time by a cop, and I was afraid. So Sonny, have you ever had anything like that happen to you?
Yeah, I have. My brother, he's the lieutenant, and my other son, Jabari's older brother, Dale, he's the police. And then Jabari gets stopped by the police. So it just, we getting it from all directions. And of course, I've got to stop. We've all got to stop. And the thing about getting stopped, they know who you are. That's the thing. They know who you are.
Yeah.
but it
So
was very uncomfortable.
you think they just stopping you just to say, you know what, I stopped Jabari's dad, you know, Sonny Parker, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. They know, but race profiling, and that's the thing all of us have been through. African American males, we've been through that, and it's not a good feeling. It's very uncomfortable.
So what do you think, Jabari and Sonny, what do you think, we as a people, what do we need to do to make this world a better place? What do you guys think we need to do as a community, or an organization or whatever it may be? What do we need to do to make it a better place, man, for our next generation?
I personally think that we need to take advantage of the communities that we live in and make sure that the black dollar is valued in our own communities. And me, like with the money that I get, I have a responsibility to become a philanthropist. So I want to really do that and help grow the inner city and make sure that the people beneath me don't move out to Northbrook or don't move out to Wilmette, but really stay in our own community. That's how we got to make a change. And it's going to be tough and it's easier said than done, but it really has to be a sacrifice starting with myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great answer.
And I think you need the other guys that come, other professionals. It don't have to be, sports. It could be a doctor, it could be a lawyer, it can be whoever it may be, giving back to that community that you're from. I agree with you 100%. And I think we can do that. It's going to take some time, but I think with All Ball Chicago, what we doing, and I think you're going to reach a lot of people, Jabari. A lot of people are going to start wanting to do, some things. They probably already, trying to associate themselves with you because of the man you are. You are a great man, God, and you understand your role. You actually understand your role, and that's hard for an athlete to do.
Let me ask you a question.
I was
Go
listening
ahead.
to Reverend Sharpton. He said something interesting. He said it's all about our civil rights. It ain't about, the civil other things that we get paid off of it. That's the thing. We just got to get back into our community. And I was blessed and fortunate to grow up where I grew up in Jabari, being from off 79th Street, and he really liked the fact that he grew up. Mm-hmm. And I took him around all over the city, and that's what he does. And like I said, civil rights or civil settlements. So, and we saw how Black Wall Street was, and that was a part of our history and our culture in the Negro Baseball League. We had a lot of those things in our community. We got away from that. I mean, I've experienced the 68 riots, and then now what's happening now with the protests, and then the riot, and then the loot. So you got three different classes. And recently, I didn't realize I'm in Lawndale. So Lawndale is next to Little Village. So I had to go to Farragut over there with Hispanics. So I had to deal with vice lords coming back home, then Latin Kings on the other side. So I was caught in the crossfire. But fortunate, being a basketball player, I had a pad. But, those things are over with now since the situation happened with Ben Wilson, bless him. But, what's happening now, it took a long time. So it's going to take some time to figure these things out. But we're on the right track. And it's unfortunate, the young man got killed and murdered, George. And it's been a lot of stuff happening with Rodney King. That was 30 years ago. And look where we at now. Mm-hmm. So it's global now because we got other different ethnic groups and different religions and different colors. They marching with us now. So it's a new game now.
Right. So let's go back to Jabari one more time, and then I know you guys got to, get out of here. But Jabari, like those relationships that you have with coaches, like starting with, elementary school, when you was playing elementary school basketball, till you got to play at Simeon. How important is those relationships to have with a coach?
It's very important because they know who you are from coming up. And those same characteristics, attributes kind of follow you to when you're an adult. And you need to sometimes revisit those when you're questioning yourself. And they help you when you're down on your lowest days. So like Coach Rob has been very, very important for me when I needed him the most, like and through my NBA career. And even Coach K still checks on me real frequently. And, you know, my grade school coach, Coach Green, when I was playing at Robert A. Black, he still checks up on me. But, you know, to keep those relationships is very important because you don't have a coach for basketball. You have a coach for life. And you have to remember that.
I mean, Jabari just be rocking it, man. I mean, he really got me like, I'm telling you, man, I'm feeling chills, man, when he talks, man. You might be the mayor, man, or you might be the mayor.
Don't be the mayor of Chicago, though. She catching hell.
If we won't change, man, it might not be a bad thing, man. You know.
Hey, I want to ask him a question, a basketball question, though. This is about the McDonough All-American game when you played in it, because I was there. And it seemed like you, Gordon, and Wiggins going to be connected to the hip for the duration of y'all career. Do y'all have a relationship, man?
Yeah, and that's the thing is we as athletes, especially as Black men, we have to uplift each other. And it's so many times where the media tries to, you know, get us against each other. But we have to understand that, you know, when we are blessed with the gifts, we can use that to our advantage. And hopefully, eventually, you know, make our own NBA one day. So, you know, keep those same relationships close because it goes beyond basketball.
That's real, man.
And I think that has something to do with the parents again. I keep going back to that parenting, man. Wiggins' dad played in the NBA. You know, mom, you know, track, you know, so he's athletic. I think, man, the parents are, you know, they play a big part of, you know, planting that seed when you were very young, man, and now you know, grown and doing your thing. I say big ups to you, Sonny, and your mom for doing that for you too, Jabari, because they played a big part of that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Anything else, Rob?
Oh, yeah. I got one more, though, right quick, you know. Jabari, how does it feel, man, when people say, you know, when people talk about Simeon, you know, and all the guys that came through with you, because y'all generation came through and blazed the trail, dude, okay? How does that feel, man, having you, Kendrick, Taylor, and y'all all young as hell?
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel, man?
Yeah, it feels good because we all came to Simeon knowing that we had to earn everything and nothing was going to be given to us because we already had an established program. So it was guys there who were playing and it was up to us to make ourselves on that team. And we had to really earn our stripes. So, you know, kids are really intimidated by going to historical programs because they might be afraid of playing, but that'll only help you. And you need talent to sharpen your talent. You need man to sharpen man. So, you know, that's why I'm so happy that we all decided to go to Simeon, even though it was already, you know, established, me and Kendrick, and we really got better that way. And when we were seniors, it was go time.
Wow.
Well, but I don't know if Coach Cox was there still coaching. I don't know.
Y'all done clogged it up, Lynn.
You know what? I second that. You know, it's a lot of talk about Simeon, but there'll never be another King. King is always going to be the best program to ever go through Chicago, and I'm proud to say that. Wow. And rest in peace, Coach Cox.
That's right, man. Appreciate that, man. Coach Cox was a hell of a man, man. A hell of a man.
Yeah.
Man. So you want to let's end with this, Jabari. Give some insight, your input on the next up and coming athlete, not just out of Chicago, but you know, from all over. You know, give some advice of what that basketball have done to you and what you can implant in someone else that's listening.
Yeah, basketball has been a blessing for me. It has opened up a lot of doors for me and my family, and make sure that you cherish this game. Cherish it for something that is your passion and not more of something that is a passage. Because when you think of it as your passage or as your passion and you have that foundation, then everything else is pure and everything else will fall in place. But make sure this game stays pure, and make sure you cherish the game, and it'll come back to you and bless you in many ways.
Wow. We got to end with your pops. Pops, you got to drop some knowledge, man, and then we'll get up out of here.
Yeah, it's all about being the best that you can be. You know, it's all about your character, your attitude, and your work ethic, and being a team player. Because you know what team stands for. Together, everyone achieves more. I said, Jabari, how many points you scored? He said, Dad, we won the game. So it's all about team. And then we always say family in our huddle, because that's what we all about, man. You know, you take the lead. It's just like what you and Bobby are doing right now. Y'all taking turns taking the lead. And that's what leadership is all about.
Well, another great show, man, that we had on All Ball Chicago. Jabari, I already claimed it. You know, I had put it out there that this was going to be a great show because I could feel it. You know, I knew that it was going to come. I knew what Jabari was going to bring. I knew what Sonny was going to bring. So I already had claimed this, man, that this was going to be a great show today. So, man, again, much success to you, Jabari. Pops, Sonny, you keep doing your thing, man, giving back to the community, man. In any way I can help, you know, I'm there for you guys, man. And anyway, Jabari, if you need to talk to someone, man, other than your pops or whoever, you know, you else got in your ear, man, I'll be that listener, that ear for you too, man, and just to be there for you, okay?
Yeah, thank you, Marcus. And also want to thank you for inspiring me coming up in high school, because you gave me the target of who I can be, because you made it accomplishable, and you did that growing up. So, you know, when Coach Cox came and Simeon, he told me, like, you know, look up to Marcus, really study his game, and one day you can be like him and go to the NBA. So, you know, you laid that foundation for me, and I don't want that to go unnoticed, that you had game, man, and you had a talent that will never be overlooked, because I really appreciate it.
Dang. Wow. Wow, man. I appreciate that, man. Really. I love you, brother, man. I love you and your dad, man. Thanks for having him, Sonny. I mean, you got you a king, man. I mean, a gem, man, a diamond, man. You just got, man, you just don't understand, man. Yes, it's a blessing, man, to have someone like, you know, both of you guys. I mean, I'm pretty sure your brothers is like this too, man. If we talk to your brothers, I'm pretty sure they're the same way. So it's like, and parents, y'all did a great job, man. Make sure you share this with your mom too, Jabari, this video, man, because it's amazing, man. It's amazing. You are an amazing kid, for real.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you.
Never underestimate fatherhood. Give it up to Sonny Parker, Jabari Parker, All Ball Chicago, your host, Marcus Liberty. Man, it's been one. This was hype, man. Hey, Jabari, I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for coming on.
Love y'all too.
Yeah.
Love y'all too.
Good night, guys. Have a good night.
All right.
Peace.
All right,
peace. Fellas.
Okay, let me see where I'm at here.
I'll get you.
There you go.
Yeah. Man, dude. I knew this was gonna happen, man. This dude almost made me cry, man.
I saw it. Yeah.
But man, but that shows you what Chicago is really about, man. It ain't even about no hating on each other. It's about uplifting one another, man, and each other. And Jabari is a prime example of what Chicago is all about, man. And if we don't take heed to that, man, and share this love and share this passion and giving back to our communities and doing what's right for that next generation of student athletes. If you didn't take nothing from this, man, something's wrong with you.
Would y'all please share this to all y'all friends, please? Everybody take it, hit the share button, send it to 50 of your friends, and go subscribe to our YouTube page, All Ball Chicago. Man, Jabari just shedded this now. Sonny Parker just shedded this now. Almost half a man live in tears of a chair. I saw you.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's who I am, though, too, man. Like when I feel it, man, I can feel his passion, man. I actually was feeling that, and then to hear him talk about, you know, the people that was in his life. I mean, you know, Coach Rob, was my man, and my man over at Simeon, been doing his thing. His elementary school coach. I mean, his dad, his mom, his brothers. I mean, it can go on, man. And that's, to me, what life should be about. Not just playing a sport, but using that sport to get to or help someone else, and I think Jabari is doing a great job with that.
Yeah, and I want to add to that. That's something that I picked up on. He said, and you rarely hear young people say this. He said, the money that I have, I have an obligation to help build up my community with it. And I mean, that's some serious humility there. He's not of this world.
Yeah.
So big ups to Jabari and Sonny Parker, man. And never underestimate fatherhood, gentlemen. To all my brothers out there, man, that's watching this, man, let's just stay involved in your kid's life, man, because that's a perfect example of what it can turn out to right there. And we had other fathers on here as well, Kendrick Nunn, great coaches. We've had a lot of people on here, but let's just don't underestimate our role, gentlemen, as being fathers in this country, because you heard that man. So
yes, man. And again, man, it was a great one. And tomorrow we got the legend, Tim Hardaway Sr. will be joining us, the killer crossover.
Hey.
Texas two-step.
Don't you even think about it.
He'll be on here tomorrow, man. And so make sure you tune in tomorrow. We're going back to back. Tim Hardaway will be joining us tomorrow at 8 Central Time, 9 Eastern Time. We do put our videos up on YouTube, so make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do try to put them on our All Ball Chicago channel as well, but something's wrong with that group setting, so I have to go on my personal page, and then I'll share it later on my on our All Ball Chicago page. So, man, Bob, it's been another good one, man. Another good one, dude.
Yes, indeed. I can do nothing but smile. See that smile? $1 million, baby. Great show, Marcus Liberty. You touched this city, man, in a way that you didn't even know. Man. You didn't even know. And every show, you finding it out, every show, man. And so shout out to you, man, and the awesome job that you did carrying yourself out here, man, as an upstanding individual. Because if I'd have been you, I'd have had the big head.
Yeah, man. Never, man. It's all love. It's all love, man. And you know how we get down. So, man, we just gonna continue to do what we do, man, and keep it moving. I mean, we can't stop it. We got to keep it going, man. It's some energy behind it now, and we just gonna keep moving, man. We got a lot of things in the work. I mean, you doing some things, with some inventions and all that we gonna eventually start talking about, and especially with this in this time we at now, that invention that you got, man, I think it's gonna change.
Pull it out.
I don't have it. I don't have it with me right now, but
that's all right. Pull it out tomorrow at the Tim Hardaway show.
Yeah,
we're gonna drop it tomorrow. We got the world's first social distancing device, and y'all gonna have to come holler at me and Marcus for that, man. That's for real.
Yeah. So, man, another good show, man. So, and reason why I really wanted Jabari to come on, man, because I knew we did say the time, and then he, him and Sonny called me and said, Marcus, Jabari got to get that work in. And you know what? I said, you know what? Let's push it back. Let's push it back in a little bit. We'll put it back out there to say we're gonna push it back, so we can get Jabari on, because I didn't want to interrupt his workout either. So, man, that shows you what kind of kid he is. Again, man, he wanted to get that work in, and then he joined our show. So we did it.
Absolutely. Yep. So it's been one, and it's been a fun one, man. I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed. This is All Ball Chicago on the Believe Podcast Network. The statue, Marcus Liberty. What you finna be on, big guy?
Man, it's time for me to unlace the shoes, man.
That's our time. Peace.
I holla.